I'm David Cohen, CEO of Fluence, and you're watching Fluence Unfiltered. This is another installment of our series on building for success and achieving sustainable growth with Casey Rivero and Ryley Leech, cannabis solution architects for Fluence. In our last episode, we explored Casey and Ryley's journey and how it informs the work they do at Fluence. But today, I want to focus on their best tips for designing and building a cannabis facility. Now, you've seen so much, right? Now that you've been in wherever you've been in, how many grows, both of you guys have been with you in Australia, New Zealand, you're in Europe all the time at our customers. What do you see that works, and why doesn't it work sometimes, even when people are trying to do the right thing? And I know both of you are data geeks when it comes to this, so can you talk about that a little bit and how you see it?
A successful horticultural business requires diligence, right? All of us pretty much, who have been cultivating for years and have been part of the culture, like, we bring the passion 100%. There's the passion for the plant and for the people that the plant's going to is always there. And then data collection, analytics, all very important, but a clean grow is a good grow, right? So I think it's down to the minute details, and that's where growers are successful. And we learn a lot as we work with more and more commercial ag customers, is the devil's in the details, right? And that they use data analytics to increase, by 0.5% over their areas. Well, we typically come in and look at 20, 30, 40% increases in some scenarios.
Could each of you talk a little bit about some of the specific growing challenges going from the Foot Locker to the, 7,500 plant facility to the 1 million square foot?
You see a lot of what is essentially just a, expanded basement design, right? We got wood tables, and we've got really, wonky ceiling heights and just lights everywhere. And typically the biggest pitfalls for most facilities is in mother and veg stock, because if we get good plants into a flowering scenario, whether, light is, subpar or ideal, we're going to be somewhat successful. A lot of times we see growers limping out of veg into flower, hoping to make up that, those issues that happened early on and fix them later, where that doesn't work. We just are robbing ourselves of yield and quality throughout the process. So, starting with the very first room that your plants go into, your propagation room, your mother room, your veg rooms, being kind of the origin of the success in your facility is important to think.
One of the most successful scenarios that I see is when a group understands what their business model is and how they're trying to produce and what product they're trying to produce for the market, and then all their decisions that they make go towards that, specific purpose. Each state could have a completely different set of systems on what products are allowed, what products sell, what they sell for, and then doing that with a team of people that understand how to make that happen. And if you're a craft grower, you understand what size and scale you're growing at, and you produce for that. If you're trying to produce, the Haagen-Dazs of the cannabis industry, then you understand what scale you're going to be producing, and you hire the team that understands that scale.
If you start right, there's a lot of things that you don't have to do optimally, and you will end good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may not end at the best,
Sure.
You might not end at optimal, but where if you reverse that, if you don't start right, you put the best light in and the best benches and the best system and the best regimen, you're going to be left scratching your head. Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, we still do. I mean, I think it's happening less and less, which is great. I mean, there's nothing I dislike, no matter whether it's Fluence lights or any other lights in a facility. If I walk into a facility that has poor plant health and struggling to hit average metrics in flower, it's never great. You want to walk in and so I think that's where some of the things that we can do to help customers and help educate them on the decisions they need to make to be more successful. But it's not just about lighting. Lighting is a massive part of crop production and cannabis production specifically. But you start right, you end right.
So you both said the same thing in terms of know what you're getting into it for, know what your plan is, build the right team. You're talking about the basis of a strategic go-to-market plan. What types of trends are you seeing that are not necessarily innovative, but different. This has to look a lot different today than it looked in 15, 16,
Sure.
even 19. Can each of you talk to a specific growing trend or technique or technology?
The sensors that we're able to read, plant health, environment with, the data collection and what we're able to do and analyze that information with is really, to me, what's going to push the industry into, more of a cutting edge leader of technology industries, being able to understand if I put in X amount of this, what comes out, and is that efficient or not? Before we just kind of went with it, 20 milliliters here, 20 milliliters here, a couple pounds here, a couple grams there, Now we actually have the data and the science to realize what the input effect on the output.
It really changes the profile of the grower, though, doesn't it?
Sure.
I mean, they have to evolve.
Obviously we're pushing higher and higher light, right? This is a crop that is very unique in the sense that it can take a lot of light and likes to take a lot of light. And historically, because of the limitations of HPS and HVAC in the rooms that we were building, you could only install so much HPS to, get 600 to 900 ppfd roughly, but we're just seeing that skyrocket and having a direct, ROI and quality result for growers. Now there's obviously a point of diminishing returns, and we're going to get there pretty quickly at the pace that we're going. Understanding that, on a holistic level, this is how we're going to approach lighting in this facility at this ppfd, and plants that make the cut and produce well under this are going to be part of our stable, and plants that don't.
When I first came in, the amount of really, really good commercial ag growers that we introduced to the up-and-coming cannabis growers and just step back and say, look, guys, talk to this. Well, he grows tomatoes. Talk to him.
He'll teach you something.
It will teach you something, that's for sure.
I mean, a guy who's been growing plants for 30, 40, 50 years, that's someone you should listen to. It doesn't matter if it's cannabis or tomatoes or herbs or whatever, some operational things that you can pick up from him, even some plant health things that you can pick up from him. At the end of the day, there's people who have been able to figure out how to run those businesses that are such tight margins. They have a lot to teach us.
On the last installment of our series, we'll get a few final insights from Casey and Ryley that you can apply to your business. To be alerted when it goes live, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you then.